Welcome to Crime and Unwind, the true crime podcast where we pair stories with perspective and a glass of our favorite wine. I'm Aixa.
And I'm Denise, and tonight we explore one of Oregon's most haunting unsolved mysteries, the disappearance of Kyron Horman, a case with no body, no charges, but over 15 years of anguish, suspicion, and searching.
Yes, so this case has twists, conflicting accounts, intense media coverage, and renewed investigations as recently as 2025. We've gone through every known document, timeline, and interview, and tonight we'll take you through the full story. But before we do, our wine of the day. Today we are sipping on a Riesling. I know last episode we had a Riesling also, but we like it.
We like it.
Yeah, so this one is the Clean Slate, and it comes directly from Germany. It's pretty interesting. It's got rocks on the front of it, so it looks like, let me read this little insert here. The thin slate stones of our vineyards in the Mosel River Valley are a critical factor in crafting a Riesling of exquisite balance. So precious are these stones that those which slip into the river are carefully carried back up to the treacherously steep vineyard slopes and returned to place. Reflecting and retaining heat, the slate is essential to ripening the grapes in this cool climate, developing the wine's fresh peach, crisp lime, and subtle mineral flavors. All right, let's see what we got here. I like me a good Riesling.
Me too. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Cheers. Yeah.
Very
Oh,
crisp.
it gives you like a little in the back of your throat, but it's good.
I like it. All right.
So for those of you that don't know, slate actually does mean
It's
rock,
it's the rock,
right?
Yeah, slate is the rocks.
So if they made these with rocks, that's amazing.
I don't think that's
I don't think so either, but
I think that just
it's
means
good.
that the heat from the rocks is essential to the ripening of the grapes.
Yeah, but it's good. It tastes good.
Rocky.
Right. Highly recommended. Okay,
It's
so
good.
let's get
It's
into
good.
it.
So,
Let's get into it.
As you guys know, we'll get into the facts and then our opinions here at the end, per usual.
Yep,
Let's get started.
Okay, so who was Kyron? Kyron Richard Horman was born on September 9th, 2002 in Portland, Oregon, to Desiree Young and Kane Horman. The couple would go to separate before Kyron was born.
Right, so in 2004, due to serious kidney problems that required frequent treatment, Desiree gave Kane full custody. Now, she did stay an active and loving presence in Kyron's life.
Yeah. So Kane then eventually married a Terry Moulton. She was a substitute teacher. They did have a daughter together, Kiara. Kyron lived with his father, stepmother, and the baby sister in a quiet, forested neighborhood in northwest Portland.
So apparently Terry was Kane's side chick, and part of the reason why him and Desiree did break up.
Yeah.
So from some of the documentaries that we have watched, it seems as though Terry had literally been waiting for Desiree to move out of Kane's house to slip in there.
Yep.
Like Desiree was literally taking her things out and Terry moving her things right in.
So she definitely had weird, what's the word I'm looking for? Acting or moving weird since the beginning.
From the beginning. All right. But Kyron, he was bright. He was a curious second grader who loved science and frogs. He had blue eyes, he wore glasses, and had a noticeable strawberry-shaped birthmark on his forehead.
Yep.
He attended Skyline Elementary School.
Yep, that's right. So it was Friday, the morning of June 4th, 2010, Science Fair Day. Skyline Elementary School opened early that day for students to show off their projects.
Right. So Kyron's project was about red-eyed tree frogs. Terry brought him to school around 8 a.m., and they were seen together at his display by several witnesses, including PTA President Gina Zimmerman. And it seems as though this was odd also because he usually took the bus to school. So Terry decided she wanted to take him
In his truck.
in Kane's truck because she has her own red sports
Right,
car.
right.
but decided to take Kane's truck instead, stating that she was either taking his science project to school, which was a lie because the science project was already in the school, or bringing it back, which didn't happen either. But moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward. Because to me, that just seemed steps to an alibi. But we'll see. All right, so Terry said she last saw Kyron around 8:45 a.m. walking down the hallway towards his classroom, but Kyron never made it. He was marked absent by his teacher.
Let's talk about that though. The teacher never called the parents. It was said because Terry had told his homeroom teacher that Kyron had an appointment.
A doctor's appointment, yeah.
So his absence, when not necessarily unnoticed, but usually when a child is absent, they reach out to the parents.
Exactly.
It's protocol.
Exactly.
It's what they do. But teacher did not, because she was told Kyron had an appointment that day. He would not be in class. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So after Terry claimed to have last seen Kyron around 8:45 walking towards his classroom, she then ran errands. She stopped at 2 Fred Meyer stores, drove Kiera around due to an earache, went to the gym, and then she posted photos of Kyron at the science fair on her Facebook at 1:21.
Again, sus.
Let's discuss,
Sus.
please, let's discuss.
Sus.
So she claims to have driven Kiera around due to an earache. So she wanted to soothe her with the car ride.
Yep.
Okay. So she stopped at 2 of the Fred Meyer stores to look for
Medication, yep.
for Kiera. Okay. So if your daughter was so uncomfortable that you had to drive around for hours to soothe her earache, why would you stop at the gym and drop her off at the gym daycare? Gym timeline. Witnesses say she was only there for about 24 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't a
did
lot.
not work out. Now she did go around talking to people that she normally didn't talk to, and she went around showing people photos of Kyron and his science project that day.
The one that was posted on Facebook.
Right, right. Now she also had a gash on her calf that she claimed happened by dropping a weight on her leg.
Okay.
Okay.
So at 3:30 p.m., she and Kane went to meet Kyron at the bus stop, but he wasn't there. A panicked call to the school confirmed Kyron had never been seen after that morning. The school called 911 at 3:56.
So within hours, deputies were searching Skyline Elementary and nearby woods. Search and rescue teams were activated that same evening.
Yep. Over the next 10 days, there were 1,300 trained volunteers and professionals searching the surrounding terrain, including Sauvie Island, which is about 6 miles from the school, but nothing was ever found.
And they searched that land because Terry's phone had pinged.
In that area.
Yeah, in that area. But
yeah.
at this point, she was not a suspect, or at any point really, but that's neither here nor there. But all right, it was Oregon's largest missing person search. Helicopters, infrared, cadaver dogs, dive teams, they were all deployed. Kyron's photo blanketed the news.
Yep. He was last seen wearing a black CSI t-shirt with a green handprint, black cargo pants, white socks, and black Skechers with orange trim.
So, everything we said about Terry's thus far, now her story was soon under scrutiny.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
She failed 2 polygraph tests. All parents had to take one. Desiree passed hers flying colors. Kane passed his flying colors. She failed 2, and on the 3rd one she walked out.
Yep.
She couldn't account for certain hours between 10 and 1. Those hours where she claims to have been driving around her daughter because of the earache.
And still with this, I mean, because I know that her story had changed quite a bit. Even with this, she wasn't deemed a prime suspect.
Right.
Yeah. So, now listen to this.
Here's a kicker.
Yeah. So, then came a shocking allegation, okay? A landscaper named Rodolfo Sanchez claimed that Terry tried to hire him in January of 2010 to kill her husband Kane.
So police wired him, hoping that she'd incriminate herself, but she didn't. I mean, at this point, although she wasn't named a suspect, she was under scrutiny, and she knew it.
Yeah.
So she wasn't stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, Kane was informed of the plot. He moved out on June 26th and filed for divorce and a restraining order. Terry was only allowed supervised visits with Kiera.
So her close friend Dee Dee Spiker also came under investigation. She left work the day Kyron disappeared, was unreachable for 90 minutes, and allegedly helped Terry acquire an untraceable burner phone.
Yep.
Untraceable burner phone.
Yep.
What the hell did you need that for, ma'am?
For 90 minutes, she was gone from work. Her employer had no idea where she was. Her truck was still there, so she must have been picked up.
Yep.
Let's talk about these legal battles and civil suits. So in 2012, Desiree Young, feeling like she was getting nowhere with the police and the police investigation, she filed a $10 million lawsuit against Terry for custodial interference. So she accused her of direct involvement in Kyron's disappearance.
So at this time, mom absolutely thinks it's her. Father,
it's finally...
Yeah, kind of, because at first he was, no, but now he's really seeing it could be her. 2 failed polygraphs, unknown minutes that you don't have accounted for, and you're still just living your best life.
Sexting. Other men in 21 days.
Girl, the one of them was his friend.
His friend.
His friend.
This lady, and we're being super judgmental, but I
don't care either.
I'm gonna point fingers.
Yes.
But 21 days after Kyron's disappearance, she was sexting another man, all these naughty messages and photos
but that's the reason why she said she got the burner phone, wasn't it? To text this man. So that was her explanation of why she had this burner phone, and apparently she was doing it to get back at Kane, because Kane apparently was having an affair too. So I don't know. I just wanted to punch her in her face at this point. But anyway.
And I asked you earlier if you considered Kyron your son.
Yes.
You said since he's 3 days old.
Right.
You love this little boy.
Yes.
As your own child. So it's fair to evaluate your conduct the same as any mother that has lost a child.
I've lost 2.
So that's important that we know that that's how you view it, right?
Yes.
You're posting on Facebook a few days afterwards with things that some people were critical of. For example, saying, hitting the gym tomorrow, I didn't get home until 8 p.m. tonight. This is 4 days after Kyron has gone missing. At this point, you don't know if he is been kidnapped and is being raped and tortured, is lying dead and cold in a ditch. You don't know what is going on. And you say, hitting the gym tomorrow, I didn't get home until 8 p.m. tonight. That, I think, would be viewed as a lot of people as atypical behavior for a distraught mother of a missing child.
Well, that would be because the law enforcement told us to do things that we normally do. So they want you to go grocery shopping. They want you to go to the gym. They actually specifically told both Kane and I, and he was with me that day when we went.
Did they tell you to sext with someone 26 days afterwards?
No.
Because I found this really strange behavior, and I have to tell you, I have a hard time squaring this up, and And I have to say, I took out, there were many of these that I just simply, FCC can't put up, and I'm only putting your side up here, but you're texting with a man, and you say, whatever, like I'm going to get any ever again. Tell Jason Statham I'm available for whatever. I can bench, you're talking about bench pressing, I can do 195, that's how I roll. Then you say, you know, you're flirting around, I'm stronger than you. He responds. You say, we need to arm wrestle. Meanwhile, just know I can take you down. I won't hurt you, though. I'll pin you down and sit on you. I take it you're attracted to me. Okay, I didn't want to ravish you or anything. Insert evil grin with latex. Whoops, did I say that out loud? If you didn't have your son tonight, I would show you what I think of you. I may have to clear it with the boss. You talk about hiring this defense lawyer extraordinaire. You're toast, beware. Grin, going to bed, underwear and tank top. Think about that. Do you want to pick? Then you send a photo and say, that's only the left one. I quote unquote aim to please. Did you want something bigger? Another photo. I mean, it gets much more graphic. So this, we're talking not 3 weeks that your son has been missing.
And not 2 weeks into it, this is what Kane's doing with somebody else.
Well, I'm talking about you as a mother.
Exactly.
Kane's not here. He's
No.
been here. You're here. I'm asking you, you're
a
a mother with a missing child.
This was in retaliation for something that he was doing that I found out about while this is happening. And this particular person was actually his friend and sent to the house. So this was a setup.
But anyway, so let's keep going.
So yeah, Desiree did file that $10 million lawsuit to
Yes.
see if she herself
Yes.
can get some information out of Terry because
Yeah.
she felt as though the police weren't doing their job.
Right. Desiree cited 4 eyewitnesses who allegedly saw Terry lead. 4 witnesses, 4 people, 4 witnesses that saw Terry leading Kyron towards her truck. Okay? She detailed the gaps in Terry's timeline and her behavior after that disappearance.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, the suit was dropped in 2013 after investigators warned it might limit the information sharing with the family. So they tried to get Terry to kind of incriminate herself,
Yeah.
but of course that would have interfered with the criminal investigation that the police said that they had ongoing. So she did drop the lawsuit.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that ongoing investigation went anywhere anyway. So it's just, all right, so court documents labeled Terry finally a prime suspect, but despite years of investigation, no criminal charges were ever filed.
So in 2016, Terry Horman appeared on Dr. Phil. I saw this.
You have to see this.
Ooh, okay. Saying that she believed Kyron had been kidnapped by a stranger. She said police advised her not to speak publicly. She spoke about this white truck that was seen at a store and this man asking the convenience clerk where is the nearest school.
I'm sorry.
And
it sounds
yeah,
like
they
bullshit.
said, yeah, Skyline Elementary. But she says that the clerk called the police and everything, but there's no record of this. There's no record of any of it because it's probably BS.
I guess time has passed and we have to deal with the reality. As time passes, odds go down. But I'm curious, what do you think happened to Kyron?
I think that somebody came in the school and took him. One of the exonerating things that our public's not made aware of is the day before on June 3rd when I was completely someplace else at the doctor's and at the gym. There was a man in a white pickup truck, Ford, and it was parked at 7-Eleven on Highway 30, which is near the school. He was acting very strangely, and he was addressed by one of the employees there that came out and asked him what he'd doing because he'd been pacing back and forth in front of the 7-Eleven for about an hour. And he went over to find out what was going on, and the guy, I'm not sure what the entire conversation was about, but I do know from a couple of these witnesses that this man asked the employee where the nearest school was, and that employee told him Skyline, and this is the day before. After all this happened, another employee that was working there that day, she had contacted the police and said, hey, there was this strange guy here. We've got a tape of it. Would you like to come see it? The cops went over there, they viewed the tape, and she asked them, would you like the tape? And they said, no, we're good. They didn't even take the tape. But, you know, these are witnesses that say otherwise. As far as what my concern is that somebody else has come into the school, it was open. The protocol is you're supposed to have only the front door unlocked, and all the doors were unlocked. And roughly, from what I understand, about 400 people came in and out of that school. No badges, no signing in or out. So
I can't.
It's a freaking lie. So, of course, she denied any involvement, but public opinion was harsh, as it should have been.
Yes.
Okay? Because anybody with a brain would know, like, you know what I mean? 1 and 1 is not equaling 2 right now.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
So, online communities, media speculations, and podcasts often vilified her.
Yes. Yes.
Which made sense.
By 2020, the case had cost the state more than $1.5 million. The
That's
tips
crazy.
slowed, the leads dried up, and the police remained silent on suspects or evidence.
That's crazy, man. But Desiree continued to fight.
Yes.
She would attend visuals, speaking at true crime events, and keeping Kyron's name in the media.
Yes. Yes. In May 2025, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez reopened the investigation. Files were digitized. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit reviewed the case.
Yep. And the move came after criticism that the previous DA had deprioritized Kyron's case. Listen to this. Records show that they spent fewer than 300 hours on his case in the past recent years.
That's crazy. That's only like a few work weeks.
That's nothing.
Insane.
That's nothing. That is nothing.
Janine O'Neill Robin, a former prosecutor and author, began investigating independently. She called the lack of movement a betrayal of public trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today, Kyron would be 22 years old. His childhood frozen in time in a school hallway under fluorescent lights next to a frog project.
So his photo still appears on billboards. His case remains open, and his family, especially his mother, they're still waiting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and, you know, we're going to put it out there. If anybody knows anything about what happened to Kyron Horman on June 4th, 2010, call the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and we'll have all the information there for that. Because even the smallest detail could break this case or break the silence.
So this case isn't just about a child who vanished.
No.
It's about persistence and about the people who refuse to stop asking questions. And I know that we've probably seem a lot more judgmental in this one than most cases, but this is a child, and I feel as though the evidence is right there in your face, you know, and if I'm wrong,
So
I'll apologize all day, but prove me wrong, because I don't understand how you can't see it.
Exactly. It seems, you would think it's black and white. There is no gray area.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, there were talks of Terry hating Kyron.
Yes.
He hated
Yes.
Kyron.
This lady had motive
Yes.
and opportunity.
Yes.
This lady apparently was unhappy in her marriage, claimed Kane was cheating on her, and Desiree agrees because he did it to her, so she's probably like, yeah, he probably did cheat on her, okay? She wanted to get back at him for whatever reason. Instead of just leaving, why not hurt him where it would hurt the most?
Terry has said that this was for revenge.
It is.
And Kyron's parents say she may have taken that revenge a step further. Take a look at this and I'll let you respond.
I believe that he was having an affair on Terry, and I told Cain that when you are married to the devil and you give her a reason to be pissed off, all of your sins are going to come back, and here we are in this situation.
So you think that she might have done something to Kyron to hurt Cain?
I know of the hatred that she had for both of us.
His theory, what he's espousing there, is that you guys really had hurt each other and really had some angst towards each other, and that hurting Kyron was a way to hurt him.
I understand, but that's not what happened. That
Do you think he really believes that?
no.
Do you
Exactly.
I mean, her interviews
Exactly.
and like it made me angry.
Me too.
Watching her lie through her teeth made me angry. This case made me angry.
Yeah. It was definitely one that pulled the heartstrings, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for joining us on Crime and Unwind.
Yes. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.
Bye.
Bye.